Hello everyone, this is Holofied saying gaming, and this is my first thoughts on the Gekishin Squ4dra beta test, technical test that happened recently. Now, with the most recent beta test over, well, this was actually technically a technical test for server stability, and there were quite a few issues with being kicked out of the lobby or people just not accepting the ready check. One of my biggest issues is the fact that when you click the ready check, we're going straight into this. We're going straight into this, but when you click the ready check, yeah, you waited, and then once you actually found a group, you then had another ready where you had 8 seconds, otherwise you got kicked out, or people just disconnected. I had so many issues during the beta test that I got really frustrated with this system. I'm just going to start with that. We're going to start with the worst part, and then we're going to go straight into some of the best parts of the beta test, which is the characters. During the beta, we got access to several new characters. I tried to spend plenty of time with each one of the characters. I think in the end, one of my favorite characters to play was Baby. Baby was a interesting tank because unlike a lot of other tanks in normal games, like, it wasn't him that was tanking, but you could jump into other players and those other players would then gain stats. Also, if you killed enemies with certain moves with Baby, you would then possess that character until that character respawned, which was kind of a unique concept, and I really liked that about Baby. There's a lot of other tanks. Zamasu was actually really good as well. Vegeta was insane. Like, all the tanks were actually quite a lot of good. The issues, I feel like, was the healers. You had Krillin. Krillin had a lot of support with the Krillin was probably one of the best healers. I didn't really play much with him, but from what I heard, Gohan was probably the worst healer. Gohan had a jump to defend people. Gohan wasn't that great of a... I just didn't like them. And then you had Boo. Boo was probably my favorite healer and was the only one with actual healing. I know technically it's a support role and not a healing role, but for me, Boo was probably my favorite due to the fact that you had an actual healing move. DPS, I didn't actually write. I actually wrote notes and I've gone off them already. For DPS, Trunks was probably my favorite DPS, but I really didn't spend that much time with DPS. I was rubbish with Piccolo. Goku was a basic you get at the start, and he's actually quite good. So for DPS, I think Trunks was probably my favorite DPS. Now, characters will be unlocked from the star level. In the beta, we pretty much got everything unlocked. I'm hoping they're not too bad, but we'll see. Again, we don't know exactly currently about the pricing. The characters also had a ton of costumes, which is probably one of my favorite parts about this. The Krillin costume was really cool. Krillin in the white suit. Goku and Piccolo had their driver outfits, and Boo had a Mr. Satan outfit. And as someone who likes Boo and who's someone likes Mr. Satan, this was probably my favorite outfit in the entire game. There was also some shiny outfits of those versions, which you had to get dupes for a coin from the Gacha system. Talking about Gacha systems, during the beta we basically got unlimited gems and stuff for summoning, but I hope that the special capsules will add a multi-summon option, as the beta could only single summon with them. The gachas are only cosmetic items and they're nothing to do with characters that are playable. But if you get duped, you get something called EX coins. Those EX coins could be used to buy special outfits in the store, which is the shiny versions we were talking about earlier. My issue with this is that you can only have up to 1,500 coins. We also don't know if these outfits rotate out or if they'll always be around, because if they rotate and you can only hold 1,500 coins, each costume costs 1,000. That means you might end up buying costumes for characters that you don't want to play just so you don't waste coins. Again, we don't know how this will work exactly until the full game comes out and we can talk about the gacha system. They did give us unlimited gems basically during the beta test so that we could try out the gacha system. I did a lot of gachaing. You can probably see in the video as I'm talking about this right now. The grey ones gave some basic colors for the standard outfits, but nothing fancy that I could see. I don't think you get any of the rarer costumes from the grey capsules, which kind of sucks. So I would like it, even if it's a very, very rare chance that they could add some rare outfits to those grey ones. That'd be very nice. The maps. During the beta, we had 3 maps. One for the main mode. The map was pretty nice and had some really cool locations. Unlike normal, MOBAs, there was no jungle, which is interesting. They tried to remove that as a thing in this. So I feel like some people did try and jungle, even though it doesn't really exist. Now, there was also 2 other modes, the Finder's mode and the base mode. The Finder's mode, I will just talk about quickly. I had some issues with that. I only really got to play as defense once, and defending was quite easy. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't even know what I was doing, and we nearly won. And then the seeker mode, basically, there's chests around the map, and the defender has to stop the from getting the chest, and then the finder has to find the chest. That's how it is. The issue is you don't get much time as the finder. Like, they need to add a way that you can increase the time, because currently, if you get attacked more than twice or die more than once, you're pretty much not going to find those chests. You're not going to have enough time. So I really hope that they find a way to allow you to increase the time slightly, even if it's just from killing specific enemies on the map that gives you a little bit of an extra time to find the chest. I felt like the time limit was just too punishing. And then that was based on Pillar's Castle, if I'm rightly. And then the base mode had a... Not the... I say base mode, there's like 3 bases. You have to capture as many bases as you can and get points. I think it was 400 points, if I'm right. And I'm probably going to have the footage as I'm talking right now. If you get to 400 points, you won. There's also capsules on the map. You get those capsules to get buffs and support, like blocking off the current bases that you have, add robots and so forth. That was cool. It had cool mechanics, but it was a very simple map because it was just a straight line. I do hope that we do get more maps for both of those modes, and we do get more maps for the main mode. I don't know much about MOBAs, so I don't really want to go into too much detail about the maps. I don't think you get that many maps in a MOBA normally. I think they have very limited maps. But I do hope that we do get to see some more maps in the future. Although I did really enjoy the game, and I played mostly ranked, because ranked for some reason is the default mode and not quick match. I did find that a bit weird because nobody played quick match because you had to select quick match instead of ranked. And ranked, it wasn't even named ranked. I can't remember what it's called, but like it felt weird that ranked was the default. I do hope for the health of this game that they do update it regularly, and I hope that even though the characters were unlocked in this, I do hope the characters are easy to unlock in the full game, because nobody wants to grind too much for unlocking characters. That just people just want to enjoy the characters they like, and I hope that we get some cool characters as soon as possible. Like, I know people want their Gogetas, their Vegetos. I would like to see Cell, because we didn't have Cell. Like, there's so many characters that were missing. Tien, Yamcha. I know those aren't hype characters, but like, we need as many different types of characters as possible. I don't know which characters in the future would be support. I don't think we'd get Dende as a playable character. So I'd be interested to see what characters in the future could be support. Tanks and DPS aren't too bad. They can easily work those out. Like Broly. Broly could easily be a tank. I guess they could add Chilai from Super as a support, but it's kind of weird. Yeah, who's going to try and grind for Chilai? Don't even. Don't. I know. As soon as I said that, some people. Anyway, I do hope they add new maps regularly. I hope they add all different unique costumes, because we had filler costumes in the beta. I hope we get some really cool costumes like Gohan's scholar outfit or something like that. Wonderful. I know that's not cool, but I want to see costumes that we don't normally get to see in most other Dragon Ball games. That's what makes this unique for me. I like that. I like the maps, and I like the modes. Overall, I really enjoyed the beta. The beta was a lot of fun. I played the previous beta before this, before it got a name. I enjoyed this one. I do hope that we do not have to wait too long for release date, because I don't want people to forget about this game, because that can happen. There's so many games coming out this year that I do hope that they announce a release date soon, or details on the release date. But overall, I would rate the beta a strong 8 out of 10. I feel like it's got some stuff it needs to fix. It's got some stuff that it needs to change, and as long as they keep supporting it, I feel like it's going to do well. And I hope it does well, because it's a good game, and it's nice to see some Dragon Ball go into something else. I know we had the Dead by Daylight style game with the Breakers, and you got all your other mobile gacha games. Also remember, this game is also cross-play between PlayStation, Switch, Android, iOS, and PCs, so you'll be able to play with all your friends from day one on different platforms. But remember, any gems that you purchase will not be transferable from accounts, so that is a bit of a limiter, so you can't, yeah. But that's probably because of, legal reasons. Anyway, if you're still watching right now, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed we still have much more content that I've got to upload. I did a lot of stuff during the beta. Anyway, until next time, stay safe, everyone. Bye-bye.